In this tutorial, I am going to discuss a programming question, arranging coins. So the problem statement is given total of n coins, we have to arrange in a staircase shape where every kth row must have exactly k coins. So it means first row must have one coin, second row must have two coins, third row must have three coins, and so on. So we have to find the total number of full staircase rows that can be formed, and for this problem n is a non-negative integer and fits within the range of a 32-bit signed integer. And now let's understand this problem statement through an examples. So in the first example we have given 5 coins, and now let's arrange them in a staircase shape. So first row have 1 coins, now we are left with 4 coins. Second row have 2 coins, now we left with 2 coins. So 5 minus 3, we have already used 3 coins, so it is 2. And now third row must have 3 coins, but we are left with only 2 coins, so we have used, so we can only use 2 coins. Now in this example we can only form 2 rows which must have exactly k coins, so first row and second row. So third row, if it is a full staircase row, it should have 3 coins, but we are left with 2 coins, so that's why it is not included. So the output is 2. Now let's move to second example. So in second example we have given 8 coins, and now let's arrange in a full staircase row. So first row have 1 coin, second row have 2 coins, third row must have 3 coins. So let's count them, 3 to 5 and 1 6. Now we are left with only 2 coins, so fourth row must have 4 coins, but we are left with 2 coins, so we can use only 2 coins. So in this example we have exactly 3 rows, which is a full staircase rows. So 3 rows must have exactly k coins, so each row must have exactly k coins. So first row have 1 coin, second row have 2 coins, third row have 3 coins, so the output is 3. So this is the problem statement, and now let's discuss multiple approaches to solve this problem. So let's discuss the solution, and let's start with the easiest approach. So the easiest approach to solve this problem is to do the exhaustive iteration to solve this problem. And what's the meaning of exhaustive iteration? Now let's understand through an example. So suppose we have given 5 coins, and we have to tell how many complete rows we can form by using this 5 coins. So we have to start with the first row. So first row must have exactly 1 coins, so we subtract 1 from 5. Now we are left with 4, and we can form 1 row. Now in next iteration for second row we need 2 coins, so let's subtract 2 and we get 2, so we can form second row as well. Now for third row we need 3 coins, now let's subtract 3 and we get the negative result. What it means is we can't form third row, we can only form 2 complete rows, so 2 is the output. So using this logic we can solve this problem. So here is the code for this logic. So the first condition is if the value of given coin is less than or equal to 0, then simply return 0, else start from 1. So I have initialized one variable count with the initial value 1, so I have declared one variable count and initialize with 1, then run a while loop while the value of n, the number of coin, is greater than 0, and at each iteration I subtract with count, and if at any point if it is less than 0, then it means we don't have sufficient coin to form the row, so simply break the loop, else increment the value of count. And when we came out of this loop, simply return count minus 1. Why it is count minus 1? Now suppose in first iteration the value of count is 1, and now we subtract 1 from it and we are left with 4 coins. So the new value of n is 4, and is it less than 0? No. So we increment the value of count. For next iteration, the value of count is 2. So in next iteration, we subtract 2 from 4. So now, is the value of n is less than 0? No. So now we update its value and it is 3. For next iteration, it is 3. So we subtract 2 minus 3, which is minus 1. And now is it less than 0? Yes. So we came out of this loop and we return count minus 1. So we can only form 2 complete rows from this coin, from 5 coins. So this is the easiest approach to solve this problem. And now let's see how we can optimize our solution. In our previous approach, we have solved this problem using exhaustive iteration. So we can improve our code by using binary search. We can optimize the time complexity by using binary search. So in this problem, we have to find number of complete rows we can form from the given coin. So we have given total number of coins, and using this we have to find number of complete rows we can form. So before using binary search, let's understand one important point. So in this problem, we have given that every kth row must have exactly k coins. What it means is, first row have 1 coin, second row must have 2 coins, third row must have 3 coins, and so on. So if we deduce the formula, then the kth row must have at least k into k plus 1 divided by 2 coins. So what it means is, so if we are talking about the third row, so to completely form 3 rows, we need at least 6 coins. Now let's understand how we can use binary search to solve this problem. So suppose we have given 5 coins and we have to tell how many complete rows we can form using 5 coins. So to use binary search, we have to calculate the mid, and for mid we need start and end index. So I have declared a start and end variable of long type. So initial value of start is 1 and end is n. So here the value of n is 5, so the value of end is 5. Now we run a loop while the value of start is less than equal to n. So first we calculate the mid. So when we first calculate the mid using 1 and 5, so the mid is 3. So now let's calculate the current sum. So if we have to form the 3 rows completely, it means we require that number of coins. So we get 6 here, and if we compare, is current sum is equal to n? Is it equal to n? No. So the value of n is 5 and it is 6. So definitely this condition is not true. Is the value of current sum is greater than n? Yes. So we update the value of end, which is mid minus 1. So mid is 3. So the new value of end is 2. So the value of start is 1 and the value of end is 2. So now let's move to next iteration, and still this condition is true. So again we calculate the mid, and this time when we calculate the mid start, the value of start is 1 and end is, the value of end is 2. So it is 1. So the value of mid is 1. And now let's calculate current sum. So the value of current sum is also 1. So again this condition is not true, and now let's see. So is the value of current sum is greater than the value of n? No. So we move to this statement and we update the value of start, which is mid plus 1. So the value of mid plus 1 is, so the value of start is 1, so the value of mid is 1, so it is 2. So the new value of start is 2. And in next iteration we calculate the mid using these values, start and end. So the mid is 2. So the value of mid is 2 and the value of current sum is 3. So again this condition is not true, and the value of current sum is greater than the value of n? No. So the value of start is updated to 3. And in next iteration when we see this condition, is the value of start is less than equal to end? No. So we came out of this loop and we return the value of end. So the value of end is, so let me show the code. So we return the value of end. So the value of end is 2. So we get so we can only form 2 complete rows using 5 coins. So this is how we can solve this problem using binary search. And now let's talk about its time and space complexity. So its time complexity is O log n, and its space complexity is O1. We are using only constant space, so we are using a space only for these variables. So that's it for this video tutorial, and in this tutorial I have discussed 2 approaches to solve this problem. If you know any other approach, you can let me know through your comment, so that another students or peoples who are watching this video get the advantage of the through the approach you have shared in comment section. So thanks for watching this video, and please don't forget to like this video.